Joined now by Fox NFL analyst Bucky Brooks. So, Slick Rick, how seriously should we take the Cowboys in the NFC?
We should take them seriously when it comes to their division in the NFC. We should not take them seriously when it comes to the NFC as a conference. And let's be clear, we're discussing this because of what Tom Brady said. We're not buying into what Tom Brady said, or at least I am not. He is doing what a good, savvy veteran quarterback would do when he is playing a seriously inferior team. He's trying to build them up so that his entire organization, teammates, etc., all take him seriously. Bruce Arians has done the exact same thing. And even with that, Tom Brady was trying to find ways to actually craft it to say, hey, you know what? They could be formidable in this week one. Even though they had the fifth worst record last season coming off of that, and they had a star-crossed, disjointed training camp. Nothing in training camp, nothing in preseason to suggest that they are going to be significantly better than last year. And look, I don't believe in groupthink. And I see, and I'm interested in the fascination with the Dallas Cowboys and the willingness and desire to prop them up. So I went searching for someone who would give me reason to buy into that. And I looked at all of the power rankings that have been put out there. And the best that I could find is where they were ranked 6th, not among teams in the NFL, 6th among NFC teams. 7th was about the average. NFL.com, an outlet which I believe Mr. Brooks is familiar with, actually had them 9th behind the Washington football team. So I simply cannot take a team ranked 6th, 7th, 9th in power rankings coming into the season and look at them and say, you know what, I need to take them seriously as a contender to win the conference.
Oh, Slick Rick, you started off fast and you started off wrong. You better take them seriously right here. Look, I understand what Tom Brady was doing, and you did as well in terms of the PR of this moment, the public relations. Floyd Mayweather does the same thing after a fight, after he defeats his opponent. He talks nothing but nice things and pleasantries and glowing remarks about them. Tom Brady does it before he beats you and after he beats you. But these Cowboys, they're not going to be in too many situations this year where they're going to be beaten. Let's talk about them, first of all, getting an opportunity to make the playoffs. They're going to win their division. We all know that. Here's some numbers to support that. Since the start of 2019, which team in that division has the best record? The Dallas Cowboys. Since 2017, which quarterback has the best record in that division? We know it's Dak Prescott at 16-3. He owns this division when healthy. Dak Prescott is healthy this year, and let's just hope for good fortune that he stays healthy this year. That said, now you're in the dance. You give yourself a chance once you show up to the dance. Now let's look at these Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to use Tom Brady as the interpreter. You know why Tom Brady's putting respect on the Dallas Cowboys? Because Tom Brady remembers last year in the playoffs in his first round that he was going against a team that was led by Tyler Heineke. And you remember how that game was going? Yeah. Fourth quarter, one score away. They barely beat the Washington football team. Y'all want to go to the next game when they were playing New Orleans? Oh, they were down 6 early in that game. You want to go to the Green Bay game, a decision here, a run there, a call there, and that game may have flipped as well. So Tom Brady is speaking from experience of how it's a thin line between love and hate in football. Or as we all say, it's a game of inches. You look at the Dallas Cowboys that are going to win their division. That talented team finds itself in the playoffs with all of those weapons on offense and a rejuvenated, re-energized defense and a new defensive coordinator that they all possess in Dallas. Oh, Dallas is ready to contend in the NFC.
Oh, Rick. Slick Rick, take a shot at me, the outlet that I sometimes contribute to. Look, faith is the substance of things.
Sometimes, now it's sometimes contribute to.
He distanced himself. You saw that?
I'm just saying, so here's what I want to say about the Cowboys. The Cowboys certainly have an offense that's high-powered. It's one of the reasons why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to worry about them. When Dak Prescott was injured a season ago, he was averaging over 30 points a game, or this team was averaging over 30 points a game. You look at his three weapons on the outside, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Those guys are all capable of going for a 100-yard game at any time. And then Ezekiel Elliott, haven't had a chance to watch Ezekiel Elliott. He is fit and trim. Look, he's back to his college playing weight. And so if Ezekiel Elliott is right, the offensive line certainly is good enough to pay holes for him. And then you have Dak Prescott, who is able to throw to those weapons. They certainly can make any game a shootout. But then, Rick, even listening to what Tom Brady is saying about the Cowboys linebackers and their defense, they certainly are talented enough to give them problems. And the rookie, Michael Parsons, who will be used kind of like the queen on the chessboard, he is the one who could be problematic. I wouldn't discount the Dallas Cowboys, not only in this game, but as a team that could make a run in the NFC. They certainly are loaded enough to do so.
Boom.
Okay, I'm not going to discount them. I'm not discounting them. But everything that you guys are talking about is on paper, okay? My problem is that I haven't seen any of that in the preseason. You're telling me, Marcellus, you just walked right by it. You went real quick. You know, when Dak Prescott is healthy. No, he's healthy enough. We don't know how healthy he is or if he is completely healthy because we haven't seen him. Those weapons that you talked about in Ezekiel Elliott, Bucky, we haven't seen them. I mean, we've seen them, but we haven't seen them play. So when I look at where they were and I look at their potential, I'm with you. There are reasons to be optimistic that this could be a different season, but I haven't seen it. And this training camp, this preseason, you guys have to admit, did not go the way the Dallas Cowboys had hoped it would go because you did not have Dak Prescott. Never mind playing or not playing in preseason games. He wasn't practicing for a good part of it. Neither was Amari Cooper. Neither was Ezekiel Elliott. So while I can look at them and say they have the capability of being good, to say that they are a serious contender in the NFC right now, based on what I've seen, I just don't have any basis for it.
Oh, man. Well, you keep talking about all these guys that missed some practice in training camp. Sounds like to me they're going to have fresh legs when the season starts because you're looking at a guy who didn't practice one time my first year as a starter and made the Pro Bowl and balled out. So, I mean, all that practice stuff, look, if you're a baller, you're a baller. You don't forget how to ride a bike. Dak Prescott's not going to forget how to throw a football. And Slick, I love your props. I love your piece of paper. And you say that's what we use as a basis. But damn, didn't you just bring up power rankings? And if that is not based on paper and just start, who gives a damn? I ain't getting no power from somebody else's power ranking. I get my power from my game when I'm between the white lines. But you're going to put up the power rankings from NFL.com. And that's how we're supposed to play and be slotted. Man, let me give you something real. Let's talk about how the fact that this is the easiest division to win. Now, I understand the AFC South is sitting there saying, that's us, because they got Jacksonville and Houston out there. But I'm saying, by record, 7 wins won this division last year. Obviously, this year it's going to be more. But let's talk about that quarterback that you haven't seen in the preseason. So now you're starting to question Dak Prescott, Mr. Money Man himself. Why would you question this guy? Because let's talk about this, and I need to see some Bucky face as well as some Slick Rick face when I talk about this. Dak Prescott, in that division, the last 11 games against the NFC East teams. You want to know what his win-loss record is? 10-1. Woo, Slick Rick, this ain't just paper, bro. This is real. Completion percentage, over 70%. Slick Rick, yeah, shake your head. Think about this one. Passer rating, 111. Oh, my goodness. 25 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. They own the division. And Dak owns the division. Now you add all of that up, they're going to win the division. How are you not a contender if you find yourselves in the playoffs with all these weapons? So let's take it from the paper to the field and realize that the division is the Dallas Cowboys for the taking.
Oh, Marcellus, I love what you're speaking because I can tell Marv Levy has certainly imparted some wisdom on you because the guarantee to get to the playoffs is to win the division, and the Dallas Cowboys own the division with Dak Prescott under center. But you, Rick, you NBA guru, you wizard of all things basketball, you should know We talking about practice? Practice.
Oh,
We're not talking about games.
Right.
We talking about practice. And Dak Prescott. I cannot believe that you're so hung up on Dak Prescott not being available for practice, because it's just practice. It's training camp. It's just training camp. We're just trying to get to the games when it really matters.
Facts.
And now we're at the games, and guess what? He's a full participant in practice. And so because practice is so important to you, just know that Dak Prescott is practicing with that offense that is much vaunted and is one of the reasons why the Cowboys have to be considered contenders. Because practice.
I'm glad that he finally is. But look, Marcellus, all of your numbers about the division, I told you at the beginning, I believe in them when it comes to the division.
Right.
I do think they're the team to beat in the division. I don't think it's going to be a walkover of the Washington football team as much as you think it is. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, it's not that Dak Prescott played all last season and then isn't practicing right now. It's that Dak Prescott didn't play most of last season and didn't practice in training camp. So give me a reason to believe. You guys just assume automatically that Dak Prescott is going to come back and it's going to be exactly what Dak Prescott was the last time we saw him. Well, the first day of training camp, he comes back and he immediately injures his shoulder because of the leg that he's playing on. So I need to see that there's not this dynamic, this kinetic dynamic with him physically, that he can be exactly what we saw the last time we saw him. And that is why, being serious, again, I will take them serious in the division. But in the conference, and the power rankings wasn't a reflection of paper, it was a matter of those are based on all the other teams that they have to go up against in the NFC. And if you told me that those teams had dropped off, or those teams were facing the same issues that I've seen the Dallas Cowboys face over the last 12 months, I'd say, okay, there's reason to shift it. But those decisions, all those power rankings, weren't built just writing them down on paper. They were based on what we've seen, not just by the Dallas Cowboys, but from all the other teams that they have to go through.
All right, Slick. It's so funny, man, doing this show with you today, because I know I'm going to get some tweets right now from some outsiders who are like, wow, Marcellus and Slick are finally hosting the show together for the first time. But that's what outsiders think. But you and I know each other, Slick. Oh, the insiders know. We go way back to other networks, way back, talking long time.
Yes, sir.
Way back, Vegas times, Vegas story. Slick, all I want you to know is I'm an insider to the Dallas Cowboys. And let me tell you something. Ain't nothing wrong with Dak Prescott right now. This dude was put on ice just because he's just such an investment and such a key piece to what they do that they didn't want to risk it. And why risk it when it doesn't count? Preseason, training camp. But now the bullets are live. The bullets are real. So Dak Prescott will be there. But Slick, since I'm an insider not only on football and the Dallas Cowboys, but an insider to our relationship, let's go deeper with our relationship, shall we? Because you brought up other teams in the NFC. Don't do this, Slick. You know me. I come with some notes. You talk about the other contenders out there. Like, oh, the Dallas Cowboys need to be scared of who? The Green Bay Packers? Really? When Aaron Rodgers is 7-8 in the playoffs since his Super Bowl win? Is that a win and a losing record? Since Aaron Rodgers can't get out his own way when it matters most? Oh, okay. We're scared of them. Not.
Bucky, I know you're not co-signing this.
Hey, I ain't done. Ducky go co-sign. I hope a little of this. What about the Rams? How they quarterback look in the playoffs? Oh, Ofa, Donuts, Randy's. Let's talk about the Saints. We going with Jameis Winston now. Okay, he looks good in the preseason. We'll see when it's live. I believe in Jameis, but still, I don't know if that team's going to be the same. Seahawks, how they look in the playoffs? 1-4 in their last 5 playoff games. Boy, and the offense can't even finish the season. In the regular season, second half collapses. And then we got the Bucs. Damn, it's hard to make up something bad. Say a con against the Bucs. Except no team has defended their Super Bowl title in 17 years. And that was the same quarterback on that team and this team. So if anybody could do it, it's Tom Brady. But the problem is, it's so hard to do. That said, man, the Dallas Cowboys going to walk into the dance, and then they going to start the boogie, because it ain't too many people out there that scares them.
Well, I mean, look, Marcellus made really good points when you bring up the other teams. Let's throw Tampa out of this, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the defending champions. However, they were also a team that was 7-5, and they didn't look dynastic last year. So we're assuming that they're going to be a vastly improved team, just given the fact that they won the Super Bowl and they're all together. But all of the other teams also have question marks, whether it's the Seattle Seahawks and a new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron trying to get Russell Wilson right, the San Francisco 49ers trying to determine which quarterback is the right quarterback for them, the Rams and Matthew Stafford, who may or may not be an upgrade over Jared Goff. The Green Bay Packers have a quarterback that doesn't even want to be there. So we don't even know which other teams in the NFC will really emerge as viable contenders. So to discount and dismiss the Dallas Cowboys too soon when they are the clear favorites to win the division, to me, right now, based on what we just had, it sounds like the Dallas Cowboys might be the second best team in the NFC as opposed to the power rankings that you were subscribing to saying 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever those people were saying.
Yeah.
Dallas might be the bell of fall when it's all said and done.
I only wish that we could compare what the Cowboys have done in the playoffs to all those teams Marcellus mentioned, but unfortunately, we don't have anything.